This episode is more focused on the pedigree of my New Zealand rabbits for the benefit of some of my viewers who have purchased some of my rabbits. So stay tuned. Welcome back to Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. I'm your host, Jerry Hansen. I wanted to share with my audience the pedigree of my rabbits that I have right here in my bunny bungalow. And this is more for the information of those who are requesting it, who purchased rabbits from me before. So it's easier for me to make the video and present it to you, send it to you in an email, and also present it as an informational basis for my show in general, so everybody gets the benefit on knowing exactly what I'm doing, what I have here in my rabbitry. So let's come on in and I'll share with you guys each individual rabbit's lineage or pedigree, and then also we'll cover where the rabbits I sold from, the cages, and whom they're related to. I kind of forgot which rabbits you guys bought, but this will give you an idea on which rabbits they're related to and their pedigree, where they come from. Starting off with the top cage, in cage number 1, I have Hayley. She was one of 2 does I purchased with 1 buck. I purchased with as a trio. I purchased a trio, and my daughter purchased a trio from this rabbitry over in Florence, Oregon. The rabbitry owner in Florence, Oregon collected these rabbits from other rabbitries around the nation, and then she in the process sold them because she is moving and she wanted to reduce her rabbitry and how much she needed to reduce to move. So a little bit of background on where these particular rabbits came from. Like I said, this is Hayley. She's a New Zealand breed. She was born on 8/2019. Her date to breed, that's what the DTB is 04 of 20. She is from, her sire is a Floridian rabbitry, and the dam was from a Floridian rabbitry. So her parents come from Florida, as did she. And this is the lovely young lady right here. I've bred her 3 times, and she has been successful at giving me plenty of kits. So she would give me 6 kits in this last litter. And this is my board I keep track of. These are segmented into the cages that I have each rabbit in. And of course, these are the buck cages with their names here, and these are the doe cages on my top row. And I list the date on when I breed them, when they're due, and also when I should put the nesting box in. I use this graph over here as a guide, and this graph is very helpful because it gives you the dates on when you breed them and when they're due, and there's instructions on the bottom on when to put the nesting box in. Also when to palpate them to make sure that they actually took, because rabbits don't always take. So you'll note that there's a colored star on each card. I have made these cards on my printer. These are all downloadable from this website right here. And I just create these little cards. I just put clear boxing tape over this, and this would preserve it. As you can see, there's fly poo-poo all over this, which is disgusting. And I'm really trying to control the flies. I'll cover that at the end of the video. But anyway, these cards are informational cards that go into the little holders that each feeder box has for each rabbit. Now, the reason for the stars is Hayley is a mother. She gets a single red star. So I have these star collections that I designate for each rabbit. I have 5 color of stars that each rabbit gets for who they are, who their parents are. I like to be as organized as possible. So with the next cage, number 2, up here on the top row, this is Sage. This is my second doe in the trio I purchased, me personally. And Sage, of course, she has a silver star, which denotes that she gets the silver star, and the kits that they kindle, they will get 2 stars. Their cards get 2 stars. There's a star for denoting who the buck is, and then the doe, or the sire and the dam. So Sage in cage 2, she has a silver star, and she comes from, or her date of birth was in 09/2019. And of course, her date to breed was 03/2020, and then also her sire, yes, was from a Georgia rabbitry, and her mother was from a Georgia rabbitry. So she was purchased from Georgia. So now we have a Floridian rabbitry and a Georgia rabbitry down in the southeast of the corner of the United States, which in essence introduces a kind of a variety of bloodline to the region here, on where I breed my rabbits, I sell my rabbits, and I also process some rabbits for our own table. So this lovely young lady is Sage, and sitting next to her, of course, is Hayley. These are the 2 does I bred. Sage would give me anywhere from 6 to 8 kits. She had 8 kits in this last breeding. Now in cage number 3, you'll notice there's 2 stars. This is actually Misty 2. Misty 2 was born of originally Misty 1, so her mother is actually from the Florence, Oregon rabbitry, and her father, or not her father, her grandmother was from an Oregon rabbitry. Her mother was from an Oregon rabbitry, because she gets a yellow dot or yellow star, and then her dad was from the California rabbitry, and so that denotes where her lineage is. Actually, it was her grandfather. Her dad is actually Matthew, which we'll see in a moment. And this is Misty 2, born right here at Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. Mother was Misty 1, who was descended from a rabbitry in California and a rabbitry in Florence. So this is Misty 2 in cage 3 on the top row. So currently I have 3 breeding does. Let's go down to the middle layer, or the second layer, and that's where I keep my bucks. Over here in cage number 4 is Patrick Dune. He is my prize buck. His dad was from A&M University, as well as his mom, A&M University of Texas. A&M University of Texas have a New Zealand rabbit breeding program, and New Zealand rabbits aren't necessarily from New Zealand. They were actually developed and bred right here in the United States, so they're native to the United States. It's suspected that the original breed that they bred from to develop this breed was from New Zealand, but these are primarily bred as a meat rabbit for the table. In some markets, rabbit meat is one of the staples in the diets. Not necessarily in our region. Some people love rabbit. I personally really like rabbit. It's lean, it's very healthy, and it's a good source of protein, and it's very cheap protein source to grow, especially in times of, like in the Liberty Gardens, I mentioned before in earlier videos, during the wars, people grew gardens when there were shortages, and in their backyards, and they kept some chickens, and they kept maybe a milk goat and some rabbits. So those animals you could feed without having to run down to the local feed store and purchase feed for them. You can just go to a vacant field and cut grass and other vegetation and feed your livestock with those, and then you can benefit from the free meat, so to speak, and eggs and milk if you have a milk goat. So this is Patrick Dune. He is a man. He's a boy. Let me tell you, he's a boy. So he's date of birth was 11/2018. His date to breed was 7/2019, and of course his dad and mom both come from A&M University. And this is Patrick Dune. Yeah, fancy boy. Yes, you are. Come here, big boy. Hi. He's very friendly. Hi. Yes, you're very friendly. This boy here, his name is Matthew. He's in cage number 5. He was born on May 2020. His date to breed was in January 2021. His dam, or his sire, was from a California rabbit tree. And the dam, his mother, is from the Florence, Oregon rabbit tree. So he's got a little bit of a diversity of blood in him, which is great. And this is Matthew right here. Now in cage number 6 we have Mace. Mace, he is a New Zealand, of course. And he was born on 07/2019. The date that of age that we could breed him, it was March of 2020. Now this guy, his mom and dad both come from an Arizona rabbit tree. You see the diversity here? Florida, Georgia, who is this? California and Florence. And then we have A&M University, Texas. And now we've got California rabbit tree and a Florence combination. And now we've got an Arizona rabbit tree. And Mace is from, his parents are from Arizona. And this is my boy Mace. Now he sired he bred with Misty in the cage right above him. And she kindled 6 kits. And down here in the bottom cages number 7, 8, and 9, I have the children of the couples that are in the upper cages. Say for instance, Hayley and Patrick Dune, they have an offspring right here, and this is unnamed, but this is a doe, and that's her parents. In this middle cage, I have a buck who his parents is Matthew and Sage up there. Then over here, back here on the corner, cage number 9, which is my last doe, her parents are, of course, Mace and Misty up there. And that's how I kept my rabbits separate. And I even have cages out back that I was able to separate them too, so they could tell which ones were which to which parents. And these youngsters, born in April, these are for sale as a trio only. Right now, they are $100 for the whole trio. And then out back of my rabbit tree, I have an overflow of cages that I keep the youngsters in. These were born in May. The ones inside were born in April. So these are of age and size now where they're ready to sell. I actually have 2 doe and 4 buck out here. I have, I could sell these as a trio and then just the other bucks, but I will be processing some and sending some to freezer camp. If I don't sell them, they may all go to freezer camp so we can go into winter with a lower feed bill. Even the youngsters inside I will, well, harvest, because that's what you do on a homestead, and that's what the essence of farming is. You raise livestock and you eat some. Now, as far as flies are concerned and fly control, I keep my cages clean by trying to use a shop vac about every Sunday, once a week, and I keep the bases cleaned up. But it still doesn't stop the flies. They're going to follow the stink where they go. Some people have suggested that you put green, what is it, Irish Spring soap to repel the flies. I emphasize that I did an experiment on it. The blue Irish Spring soap does not work to repel flies, nor does the green Irish Spring soap does not work to repel flies. Let me explain. Flies are crawling all over the soap bars. The flies are after food. When there's feces about or there's a stench that attracts them, because that's what they want to do, is they want to eat and lay their larvae in, lay their eggs and have larvae. That's what they do. That's the nature of flies. What the soap is doing, it's masking odors, and it doesn't repel them. It just masks the odor to try to distract them or keep them from being attracted to the area. But I have flies crawling all over the soap bars in there. As you can see right here in the windowsill, this is a green bar of Irish Spring soap, and it's not doing anything to repel the flies. It just smells pretty in here because I clean it out and make sure there's no odors in here, but it's still, you can't stop the flies from being attracted. What I do is I go down to my hardware store and I buy a fistful of fly traps. As you can see, I got fly traps hanging in all the windows. They're being very effective at attracting flies. I just hung these up 10 minutes ago, and look how many flies they've gotten. So it'll eventually clear the flies out. I've also tried this fly Attractant, which this will attract flies. It doesn't repel them, it attracts them because it stinks. Well, that's what they're after, the odor. They get in here, they drown, they can't get out. And so that's what the flies are after. We're going to hang this out, hang some more out around the farm to attract more flies. These work. These work awesome. I have them hanging around the homestead here and there, and I've been using them for 3 years now at controlling flies. We have the window screen. Just got to keep the window screens in repair order. Keep the door closed, and that way eventually the flies will all stick to that. I've just changed out the other fly strips that have been up here for 2 weeks. So ineffective after 2 weeks because they were so loaded down with flies and gnats and other little winged insects that flew in here. But yeah, just keeping it clean, keep the odor down, and it doesn't repel flies. It just doesn't attract the flies. Well, that's it on covering the pedigree of the rabbits here at Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. Hopefully this helps out those who purchase the rabbits from me and anybody who wants to set up organize their rabbitry with cards. Yeah, again, just click on, or go to that website and you can download the cards and other information that's pertinent to your rabbitry and help you out with keeping that. Because some people, if you're selling rabbits, some people really want to know the pedigree, and that's what this show is about. You're just mainly focusing on the pedigree, and also I follow up on the fly control within the bunny bungalow, and also the Irish Spring soap. Nice try, but it just makes things smell pretty. I also, when I clean out the bunny bungalow, with the shop vac, I dump it in these bags. I've got 2 50-pound bags of feed that after the feed's used, I save the bags and I dump the turds in there. I can turn around and sell those for $15 a pop to local gardeners. This stuff is gold. It's working very well in my garden. I also have a stockpile of my own bunny turds in my garden, so this is available for sale as well. I'm your host, Jerry Hansen. This is Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. I want to thank you guys for showing up and sharing our adventures with us. Please subscribe and click that bell icon that alerts you to new videos as I upload them. Give us a thumbs up. Share our channel on your social media platforms. Helps us out. Also, be safe. Always be kind, folks. We'll see you guys in the next adventure, all right? Bye-bye now. I'm gonna share with you guys the genetics. What is it called? The lineage